All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the. Is this the quarterfinals? Might be the quarterfinals. I should probably know if it's my tournament. But there's Hi. He's the blue celestial. Hi, hi. Or Hya, if you're a Zelda fan. And here's Aftermath's Theory, playing as the Red Infernals, and the hailing from the lower left of Isle of Dread. And here's Hi, coming over to take the double Luminite first. There we go. Ooh, actually, I've noticed the part of the VFX upgrades that I've noticed. One of them is obviously like the under construction. You got the spinning circle, you got this little sphere of hexes and all that stuff. Looks really cool. I never noticed that when the morph core actually casts the construction thing. There's actually like a big glyph that shows up temporarily. Skull gonna come on by and see that the array is about halfway done being built. Hexen's gonna come over and see what? He's gonna find nothing. Gonna find a power bank behind this other array, but yeah, looks pretty tame so far. We don't have any units coming out of High just yet. In the most recent hotfix, the Celestials got increased times to the production of their arrays, as well as their prisms and morph cores, I believe. Anyway, I believe if you still do a ! patch notes on the archives, it should still link to it. But you know what? Just Google Stormgate patch notes. Don't mess around with any of that. It's better to just look it up yourself on the Stormgate website. They have all the patch notes there and even the explanations for why they chose to make the patches the changes that they did in the patches, which I love. It's not just this number got changed to this number. It's very much here's our philosophy behind what we were seeing, and here's what we want to see more of, or here's what like players really hated to see. Brute trapped in a mess of Shadow Mastiffs. Feels bad. I'll never forget that one gif of that time the Shadow Mastiff stole the health cabbage from, I believe, a Lancer, but it was still very like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. You're an NPC. Why are you taking the good items? You know, one of those moments. All right, now we're starting to see things spice up a little bit. Ascension Matrix over here. You know what? I actually really like the Ascension Matrix going down when it does. Being able to surge it up in the event of, like, hey, we need defense now is pretty good. Again, unfortunate that we're only seeing, like, the number 50 next to High's power level for his top bar mana. I don't know if that's what we want to call it, top bar energy. But yeah, it's almost certainly not 50. But that's the number it'll stay at this entire time. And it's kind of hard to judge based on that how much leeway he's got for top bar spells. But that's another one of those things that I'm sure is going to get worked out as Frost Giant continues to work on this game. I'm already loving what we've got so far. But yeah, let's see here. This Fiend's going to come on by, check on the progress of High's base. Sees that there's no static defense at all. Does see the Ascension Matrix, sees the Vector pop out there, and probably got a pretty good idea that there's going to be a lot more Vectors coming out here pretty soon. Link node, another Link node, all turning into Strike nodes here pretty soon. But man, Theory is just expanding like wildfire. He's already taken a third and a fourth before his third even finishes. Oh wow, well this is his third technically. Well, this one's almost, it's way farther along than this one, so this has got to be his fourth. But absolutely sure that I'll forget what order those were made in. Now, Isle of Dread has typically been my favorite map for huge fights, and that's because the players get enough time. The downside of Isle of Dread is that it's so big that there's a lot of PvE content for the players to engage in, such that they can like just run in circles, farm camps, steal camps, and never really have to worry about... Oh! Beautiful little teleport in here. And a recall's on the other side of the cliff. I love that. Oh, that was sneaky. That was crafty. Theory not going for the double Luminite, which is actually kind of, it's also very interesting. Having one of those, like in South Park when they're like, but what does it mean? Kind of moment. I'm not sure, like, I'm sure there's significance to it, and it seems like a very deliberate thing. Ooh, nice splash damage there on the vectors. Yeah, the vectors realize that speedy units are countered by long-range units, and we've got 2 hard-hitting long-range units. The Hellborn, of course, getting a super nice buff this past, this most recent patch. But, yeah, yeah, let's have a look-see at their Focused Hatred. What another cool name for a weapon. 30 base damage. Another 30 if it's a structure, and another 30 if it's a heavy. So if it's a heavily armored structure is doing a total of 90 damage per shot, which is down a little bit from the 100 damage per shot it was doing last patch, but still an improvement in like actual fights, because before this most recent patch they were doing 25 damage per shot base, and that was with the same attack speed. Or, actually no, I think their attack speed got buffed, actually, pardon me. But yeah, so JXP is going to be happy to just like chill, keep on macroing, keep on like getting as much Luminite as he can. Oh no, it's unfortunate that these imps have to go the long way around. That's pretty painful, actually. 2 Hellforges going down at the same time. Two Hellforges, 1 Infernal is the name of this video. All right, the Vector's coming up forward and continue to take pot shots from these Hellborn. Don't have Flame Touch yet, but that's kind of to be expected. We don't see there we go. T3's coming up. And what are the Gaunts? No, just Plague Axes, and we still can't see any of the spells that. Uh-oh! Flame Imp! Doesn't connect. But yeah, the Vectors do manage to still come forward. They're going to start take. Oh! 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 We heard the giggle here. Nice connection. Looks like he managed to get 2. Manages to slurp up those creeps with Evolution Catalyst and just takes them on their skyward journey to become Luminite and Therium. But that also frees up Theory from having to like fight that camp to get the Therium camp. So I think that's actually a net positive for Theory, as long as he can keep making things. He is spending every bit of Luminite that he gets, while High is actually floating almost 1,000. Alright, splits off his... Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, Big Daddy Archangel's coming on by, but... Oh boy, he does not want to fight these, does not... Yeah, this was... That's what we call an uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, well, for the Hexen and the Fiend as well. Losing an Archangel that quickly is not ideal. That's got to be pretty painful. They're so expensive, but once you get them in high numbers, it's kind of hard to deal with them. And we don't see... Well, 4 Hellborn actually is quite a bit, and the Shadow Flyers are going to help on top of that. So the dive bombs aren't so much of an issue, but I think the once they land in Avatar, then it's going to become a pretty big issue. Uh-oh, are we going to see another run by... Did we already see a run by here? No, we didn't. But we saw the... Oh, we saw the Archangels taking back off again. You know what? That might have just been using Evolution Catalyst to... No, he didn't reset this camp either. Never mind. But I actually really like that idea. Like, if you see an Infernal player, and you know that they're going to be very Therium starved, like, why not reset that camp? Huge connections on top of these poor imps. Oh, no. Oh, but the Spriggans want a piece of that as well. They don't realize the Archangel can just turn around and give them a bonk. One bonk. No! Yeah, losing the Archangels to the super long-range of the Hellborn pretty rough, because there's really not much you can do about it, especially if they're shooting from beyond your vision. Kind of unfortunate. Spotter Fiend comes around and, well, spots all this stuff. Moving High's army over here, but it's Vector Archangel. But it seems like his Archangels aren't ever able to get into a high enough number. Well, and as I say that, there's his third, fourth. It's not a fifth Archangel. Not yet, but holy Spriggans. We've got Spriggans. Alright, smacks one of them out of the sky. Nice, nice Sovereign's Watch here. Double Soft Watch to make sure that he gets on the yellow power. But man, ooh, these Vectors cleaning up so many Spriggans. Doing a fantastic job of it too. And the Kree coming forward. Seeing a couple Kree in the mix is interesting. I wonder if there was anything that he scouted. I guess technically everything, or just about everything here, has light armor on it. But getting into close enough combat to actually like start doing damage to these things is going to be a bit of an issue. What upgrades do we have? We obviously have rollout. Oh, we've got the Radiant Fury as well, which means that the Kree can continue to move around after they start going. They take that critical damage, or the critical sandwich. If you watch Maynard play Doom Eternal on his stream, which by the way, if you don't follow him, you should. He's a former SC2 caster and all around good dude. Really, I view him as a bit of a mentor in terms of streaming, but really good guy. Go give him a follow. He's got great life advice and he likes playing really good video games. It's very entertaining to watch. So yeah, it looks like both these armies are kind of circling each other. It's the two teacup Yorkies that are like very loud at the dog park. That are like, you know, a fiend will come forward, back, you know, bark at the Celestials, and then you know, maybe like a Vector will come by for a run by and get smoked by a flaming imp. They're just kind of like, they're loud, but they're not really too committed just yet. That's not until they're, you know, the parade of German Shepherds comes up behind them. It's like, oh yeah, that's his brother, Mittens. And then they have, you know, then it becomes this whole big thing. You get kicked out of the dog park. You're not allowed there anymore, and you have to go to a different dog park. But then people start telling stories about you there, and they're like, oh, he's, you know, all this stuff. Not, you know, it's purely hypothetical. Ooh, massive cloak. Interesting that some of these Archangels didn't get cloaked. But there's enough Sentinels, or there's enough, oh my god, holy Meteor Smash. This is the Book of Revelations. Couple more Meteor Smashes going down there with the Scorched Earth upgrade. A lot of AoE happening as well with the Avatared Archangels, and that's almost all of Theory's army evaporated here. Highs remaining at 299 supply here after all those Archangels dived and wiped out basically everything. I appreciate the thought behind getting the cloaks on the entire army, but I appreciate the thought on getting the cloaks on the entire army, but there's just too many Weavers for it to be, like, the Weavers are detectors, and the Shadow Flyers are detectors, so I think that the time for cloaked units has kind of come and gone. And whether or not that's just because Animancers come out a little bit too late, and there's just detectors all over the place in the main army and at home and, like, really everywhere. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. I think saving energy for Dark Prophecy is a better use of... Oh, here's the dragon. Oh no, so many angels are just going to DPS this dragon down. Yeah, instantly falls to the bomb stick. Yeah. Oh man, these Archangels are just brutalizing the Infernal Force here. It looks like Theory's mined out his main. Alright, but what's the idea here? I mean, hi, you're almost maxed out on supply, you're super rich. I would say push the attack, dude. Like, unless you want an arc ship to like follow you around and heal your army. Oh, getting really good connections on that Weaver. There we go. More meteor strikes onto the worker lines of Theory while these Archangels over here continue to clean up the army. I might be mistaken, but it looks like I would imagine that most of Theory's supply is just in workers now. There's still a couple of gaunts out. No, is one of those... No way that Archangel lives. With 12 health and a dream. One Archangel goes down. Yeah, a lot of them are so low on health. I don't know that you want to throw these away. I would think that you want to, like, yeah, lift off and go home. Losing Archangels would be... Being able to save them, I should say, is just so worth the money. It's worth not having to spend the money, I should say. There we go. Now they're all going to come back. They're all going to get their energy up. There we go. And they all want the... they want that health camp yesterday. And rightly so. It's... that not just the passive health regen, but they like chill on top of it. Oh, my power banks. Tell me you were running low on power without telling me you were running low on power. Alright, they all get topped up. Well, not really topped up. One of those Archangels still super hurt. No, is it gonna die? It does! One Archangel getting taken out by the Shadow Demon. I don't think the Scorched Earth stacks, does it? Like, if you're under the effects of one Scorched Earth, you're not under the effects of, like, all of the Scorched Earths, I think. But I might be wrong there. Meanwhile, back on Theory's side of the map, what's he got cooking for us? A lot of Spriggans. I think he knows that there's just so much supply tied up in Archangels right now that, that Spriggans are going to be the play. There's just not enough supply for High to build other stuff, but High is just so rich right now. He can afford to build, I mean, really whatever he wants. A couple of flame hits, get good connections, and these Spriggans are going to try and turn and bonk, but ooh, those Archangels hit hard. Yeah, it just feels like there's almost nothing the Theory can do. The debuff on the Archangels is pretty good, but I don't know. That lone Hellborn can only do so much. Theory, GG's, and High is going to go 1-up in this best of 3. GG's, guys. Alright, guys, here we are. Game 2 between High and Theory. High's up 1-0 in this best of 3 on the Angry Determination map. They are both spawned on the right side of the map, and it looks like... Yeah, it looks like Theory's going to have access to that speed camp first. I love these roundabout routes that he's putting his Hexen on, by the way. It's very cool to see this. It's very, like, you don't know where his Hexen's going to be. And I'm sure there's a meta for this as well. I was told by JXP, I think we were watching Control, the Korean player, playing as Infernals, and he, on these 4-player maps, would always send his Hexen diagonally across the map, and then to the two adjacent spawn locations. It's like High, yeah, this is first array, second array, pretty typical stuff. Theory throwing down production structures at the choke for his natural, which I really like. Not that there's, I mean, yeah, there are sometimes run-bys for, oh man, we don't see a natural coming out for Theory just yet. That's interesting. Either that or his natural's, like, way late. But maybe he just wants to put on some, like, really early aggression because he knows that, that Celestial Eco and production gets going, like, pretty late here. I guess not. Bit of a spawn cheese here. Wait, where did that first skull land? What happened? Oh. There we go. Wanted to wait until it actually lands. Infests. Now you've got the move speed buff. Okay. Moving on down. Are we going to see... Alright, the first vector's about to pop. But we still haven't seen the first unit pop out for High yet. I think that, honestly, I think going forward and, well, no, maybe not. I was going to say going forward and starting to attack some of these structures might have been the move, but the first vector's out, and really that first vector, there's nothing tier 1 that Theory can do about a vector. I think the Gaunt has a longer range. Range of 5 versus a range of, I believe the vector has a range of 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. Versus ground, yeah, range of 4. So Gaunts do technically outrange vectors, but I think the vectors are tanky enough and they do enough damage, they still win that 1v1. There we go. Alright. Sovereign's Watch pops and says, get out of my front yard. You're not allowed here. It does put high on yellow power, though, and you can tell kind of by that, ooh, red power momentarily. Oh, man, it looks like Theory's going to come over here and just, yeah, there goes one Prism. That's rough. Prisms are not cheap. And taking out this Therium Purifier is not going to be insignificant either. They're a lot tankier than I remember, though. And every time they come back for more, these guns just reapply infest, they leave, and they keep on taking infest damage that they'd be taking whether they're in combat or out of combat. No, no. There we go. Remember, guys? Remember I was talking about how a lot of pro players will like leave before finishing the job? It's like, man, that really scares me sometimes. It's like, no, that Therium Purifier, like, what if it stayed alive and High was mining off of that Therium Purifier the entire time when it could have been a forced rebuild or something? Anyway, Theory's happy with the absolute vandalism that he wrought upon his celestial opponent. Decides to go home, let his demons soak in their saunas or whatever demons do in their free time, and yeah, it's just gonna keep on macroing up here. Another meat farm going down. There's the ritual chamber, and we definitely have plague axes up. So what's next? Let's keep an eye on this ritual chamber. There we go. Reaper's Rush is coming online. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! The old, I remember this play. Evacuate the imps, evacuate the imps! And do they all have recall? Yes, they do. Woo, Superstone goes down. Now they're gonna be around long enough. Uh-oh, 3 of them get trapped. They still got phenomenal damage done, though. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, how many imps are left working now? 9 on the Luminite and none on the Therium. Ooh, lordy. No Archangels required. That's, yeah, the Blinky boys are pretty scary. Alright, Theory comes over and retakes his speed camp. His army's looking alright, but no tier 2 units just yet, even though he's got tier 2 up and running. Twilight Spire, so he's wanting tier 3 sooner than later, and he's also got the Flame Imp upgrade turning on here pretty soon. The Fiend's coming forward, attacking the Therium Purifier, which is interesting. Yeah, Theory forcing High into a decision here. It's like, alright, you want to go defend your Therium mining back at home, or do you want to defend Therium mining here and take a big fight? Looks like he wants to go for the big fight and take on the larger force first. But yeah, the Fiends are doing a good job chipping away at that Therium Purifier. This one that was rebuilt. Oh, there we go. Throws down a permanent effigy. There we go. And now what? Now the Fiends are going to work on the Starforge? No. That's actually so funny. In theory, even though he's down by 35 supply, he's kind of showing High that he's not scared to do a bunch of damage right in his face. Do we have a Surged Ascension Matrix? That's the Surge bonus, but I don't think it's actually surged right now. Is he actually going to get this Starforge? No. Unreal. Unreal. There's no shot he gets the array, though, right? Alright, Sovereign's Watch pops on this array, but it goes down. One array goes down. That's actually really big, too. They take a long time to build. And Theory's almost certainly going to lose all of this. We see some parting-esque micro coming out of High here. Just microing back his most injured units and cleaning up the rest of the Gaunt and the rest of the Infernal Force for that matter, but... Oh my gosh, no way! Is this thing really going to die? No. Stop. Stop. If a second... Oh, no! Oh, beautiful connections from the Flimps. Oh, man. Felhog's in chat for the Flimp sacrifice. Poor imps. They're always getting sacrificed. That's oh, and he did get this array. That's insane. Another heart goes down. Yeah, I think he just didn't, like, Hyde didn't keep getting the alerts that he was getting attacked. So he's a 1 array Celestial against almost a 3-base Infernal. Definitely a tier 3 Infernal. But will he start making Spriggans? Is the next question. I think Hyde's super all in right now, and he knows it. You know what? The Evolution Catalyst is actually kind of nice, though. It does help stem the damage that he took. So he's got a little bit of a life support, like a little bit of a lifeline there, to keep some income going while he rebuilds his arrays. But will he rebuild his arrays, or is he just going to be super all in now? And then we got a couple of fiends moving around here. Oh, ooh, this is a juicy catch, man. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, and I mean, he could throw down the Sovereign's Watch on the Ethereum Purifier, but what a decision to put your opponent to. It's like, all right, Hyde now has to gauge, like, okay, actually, no, it's Morph Course here, so it's fine. But before that, it would be like, all right, do I use a Sovereign's Watch, or do I just wait for my Vectors to show up and take a ton of damage? Oh, Gaunts versus Vectors. Manages to get best stacks on all of them, so they're all going to be taking damage as they go along there. Oh, more damage being taken. The Harbinger tanking both of those Sovereign's Watch. And another array, yeah, the other array goes down. And poor High is just starving. Yeah, look at his Luminite income. It's almost paused. Yeah, so every unit that High loses, he's gonna have to save up a little bit to actually get it going here. I am really surprised that the Ascension Matrix never got surged. Bonk. 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 I'm surprised the Ascension Matrix never got surged for those fights. Doing 20% bonus damage to the invaders would have, you know, maybe it would have turned the tide, maybe not, but I think it's better than having power banks surged in the middle of a fight. No more, I don't see any more, yeah, nothing else being built out of Legion Hall, nothing out of the Star Forges, nothing out of the Creation Chamber. I think he's just gonna do what damage he can and call it a day. Lifts off. Superstone gets called down, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, my Shadow Flyers. Oh, boy. Woo! And then some Flame Imps sacrifice themselves. Yeah, I just wanted to get a little bit more damage done. GG. We're going to Game 3. Tied up at 1. GG's, guys. Alright, guys. Here it is. The final match in the quarterfinals between High and Theory. On Secluded Grove, not the day-night Secluded Grove, or no, wait, that's I think that's Titans, isn't it? It has the day-night cycle. Either way, it's not either of the pretty maps, and we didn't see Stormy Isle of Dread either, which I'm actually okay with. I know some players experience a little bit of a performance issues, and if someone just has a competitive advantage because they have a better machine, that's not the spirit of the tournament that I want to run. So, anyway, Theory comes over, sees another array being built, no big deal. The world keeps turning. Okay, there's a bit further away from the main conclave here. It's also really interesting to see that Theory gets his production up well before his natural. I typically see the natural being the very first thing that well, actually, it's the first production structure that comes up, so like the vault or something, and then the natural, and then the second production, whichever one you didn't get before. Is this gonna be like a super fast aggression? Please, please, cheese, please. Give me the cheese. Throw me a Baby Bell. Let me get some of the Manchego, the Gruyere, the Lundberg. Not to be confused with Lundberg from Office Space, who, different guy. Different guy. Oh, does he get the, ooh, okay. He does do the dance. And here we go. That's easy enough. Uh-oh. Oh no, builds right before it's about to die. Beautiful. Beautiful. Meat farm goes down right when the rest of everything else shows up. This is going to be a very fast aggression from Theory. Theory showing up to the front door of High with 2 brutes, what, 3 gaunts, a Hexen? No, the Hexen gets popped immediately, and a couple of Fiends. Ah, no, without that infest potential, the ability to snowball, Theory's ability to snowball has been severely hampered here. It's gonna be another meat farm. Looks like it is. Yeah, and then it's just a couple of gaunts and that 1 brute are gonna be all that's left of Theory's army. So, not getting the damage that I think he wanted to get this early. No, definitely not. Ah, well, you can still come back here and keep building, but that's just scouting out that there was a lot of Argents is a pretty good. It's good information to have, and I think he was just using that meat farm to just soak damage. I think he was trying to use that to screw with the opponent's AI so that some of the Argents would be shooting at the structure that was still under construction, and some of them wouldn't. Not really sure. Alright, and the energy camp gets taken. And the vision camp gets taken. Sorry if that's not the casting you guys wanted to see, but I think we've all seen camps being taken here. And neither of these is the interesting kind of camp. I think right now the camps that have the most interesting mechanics to them are the siege camp, because it's big and scary, and you have to, like, it's almost like a small boss fight. And the speed camps, just because they have the telegraph attacks, and they end up, like, resetting their positions halfway through the fight most of the time. But we can watch Plague Axe's research. Also, the roly-poly upgrade coming online for High. There we go. Yeah, one shot from the Hellborn, and I think High knows it's like, you know what? I don't want all of my very heavily armor tagged units to get decent connection on the Nightfall Infestation, but I'm not. I think he was hoping for not necessarily to do damage with it, but just to slow them all down. But is it worth throwing down an effigy at this point? I think it might be. There we go. Get the regen going on there. Make sure that all your gaunts are doing infest damage. And retreating is almost, I don't know, it's such a double-edged sword if you're retreating with gaunts from the Kree, just because you know soon enough they'll turn into the sonic balls, and then they'll do AoE damage instead of just attacking one gaunt at a time. So what do you do there? You know, it's I guess it's a judgment call, and Theory decided it was time to go home. Alright, Argent Kree coming on forward. Looks like we did see a little bit of a skyward salvation happen on this Kree over here. Holy smokes, that lasts for a long time. You know, that makes me wonder when we'll see another, like, a secondary or tertiary arc ship become, like, will it become meta for that secondary tertiary arc ship to be made so they can follow the army around and keep healing, or yeah, basically just provide that regen, rather, because it's more of a regen than it is a heal. Third coming down for Theory. What is he building? I never know what he's doing. Flame Imp upgrade coming online. And is this going to be... Wait, do we see the conclaves? Or not conclaves, the other building. The tier 3 upgrade building. I'm gonna lose my mind not remembering what the name of it is. Anyway, the one that you need to build Spriggans. I guess not. He just wanted to build a Harbinger to do a quick and dirty drop, but what kind of drop is this really going to be? It seems like Gaunt drops are only good if you have a lot of workers that you can infest and turn into fiends, which, I mean, theories are high as a Celestial. He's not known for his high worker counts. Sovereign's Watch pops, but is high. Yeah, it looks like Theory's going to continue moving around here. Ooh, getting these prisms would be a juicy pick off. No way! Gets one. Oh, and we see a Cabal out as well. Is this the High, known for his musical debut with his Stormgate hit, Kree-Cabal. Is he gonna get another one? He might. That is a lot of army to have to move just for a couple of gaunts. Doesn't cost anything to move the army that much, but it's still like turbo annoying that a force so small. Like Theory wasn't even paying attention to that drop by the time it got killed. He was off like getting ready to take a different base. There's the Spriggans. Nice little stompy stomp here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. But the vectors are in full force as well. Oh no! Magmadom, no! Uh-oh. Oh, and he gets lifted! Yeah, the Cabal are pretty scary when it comes to the tier 2 units, just because it's like, alright, you were slow before, but now you definitely can't get away. Oh, man. And Hellborn goes down as well. And Hellborn are not cheap. They're really good, but you're paying for it. Yeah, it's just the sheer amount of Kree that are going to get great connections when they finally do hit. It's going to be pretty wild. So many debilitates going down. Oh, do we have numbers on this yet? No, we don't. We just know that it lasts forever. Beautiful hits from the Flame Imps in the back on the back line of High. Theory's coming forward with more Flame Imps. Oh, and these Kree don't have the move around as you explode upgrade. No, it's just the roly-poly upgrade for now. Yeah, a couple more of these Flame Imps getting good connections and killing off some more Kree. And the Gaunts also doing pretty well, holding their own. And Purify going down in the main force of High, or what's left of it anyway, not just to top up the HP of his spellcasters and the Argents, but also to make sure that he's not taking infest damage, because man, it's such a large number of small units. The infest really adds up. Another Cabal goes down. But despite all that, Theory is still behind by like 20-ish supply. Permanent effigy gets dropped. It's kind of nice, and I think, yeah, it looks like High still hasn't opened up the tree wall here to get access to Theory's third base. Oof, and even Theory's even got the ninja base over here up in the corner, which is nice to see. Yeah, he is pretty rich right now, but he also hasn't done much to get in the way of High's eco. And the Spriggans are pretty good at picking off power banks. Now, power banks aren't exactly expensive to replace. They're a little expensive to replace. But that's all, you know, every time that you force your opponent to spend resources on something that's not an army unit, it just means that your army's going to be doing better the more you build. A couple of Gaunts and Fiends cleaned up, easy peasy. Yeah, and it looks like the mostly Conclave army here heading on over to take the health camp. But are they going to be around long enough to deal with the invading Celestials that are taking his Vision camp? Yeah, he wanted to take that health camp, but he just doesn't have the... You know, you've only got so much time to do stuff. Kree taken out pretty quickly. Oh, buddy. Get him, Felhogs! Get him! Felhog blitz in the chat to support the Felhogs. Superstone goes down in this, No! So much AoE damage being done to those poor little imps. And the Superstones are actually getting great connections. And the... Oh, it looks like the Blaze of Light, what is it called? Whatever the Kree detonation upgrade is called. Here, let me see it. Is it called Radiant Fury? Blaze of Light is this one. It's just their passive. Radiant Fury is the upgrade for being able to walk around while they're still fritzing out. You know, I never hear people say that anymore. Like, oh yeah, the computer's on the fritz. Back when I worked an IT job, we had a graybeard, we called him, and he, I mean, that was one of his things. Like, oh yeah, it's on the fritz. It's on the fritz, man. You got to reset it. One of those things. All right, so we do finally see Archangels out, and we've got an interesting smattering of a celestial army here. We've got, it's almost like the Baskin Robbins 31 flavors, where, you know, you take a little kid in there and they're like, okay, do you want sprinkles? Like, yeah, I want sprinkles, but I also want like a single crumb of the Butterfinger, and I want 1 gummy bear and 3 marshmallows. This is like a little bit of each topping at Baskin Robbins. But will it be effective? We'll see. I think against this, I think he had the right idea with all these lightly armored units. Actually, Archangel's going to do fantastic against the Gaunts, but I don't see what he's got to deal with, like... Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, the rest of his army wasn't there. I think that's actually a good call. Decides to back off, realize that his Archangels would just get turned into plant food if they decide to dive without any support from the rear. Decides to back up a little bit. What was that? Oh, something just took out the array. Oh, it was Spriggans that took out the array, and I wasn't even watching. Oh, bad, Frank. Bad. Single Spriggan leaves to live and tell the tale. In theory, he's just happy as a clam, mining off of the green base. Theory is able to take that last ooze and reap the rewards, as well as getting the energy regen boost there, which actually does affect the... It actually does affect the Weaver quite a bit. I don't see any Hexen in the army anymore, but that actually surprises me a little bit, knowing just how big the Celestial Ground Army is. I would imagine that Miasma's actually pretty good against all that, especially the... You know, the more opponents you can cram into that Miasma circle, the more efficient it is. Oh, that's a lot of Archangels. That's a lot of Archangels. Where are they going to paths? One right there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like he's fighting a war on 2 fronts. He successfully pinches Theory. Theory's just... Oh, everything, avatars, everything is going down here. Oh, no. But the Spriggans are out. No, the Spriggans need to turn and fight the Archangels. It's free. They're free. There we go. No, well, not free anymore. They can start smacking the Spriggans around now. But now the Archangels are completely out of energy, meaning that they can't do their Meteor Smash. But again, just like Isle of Dread, we're seeing one Hellborn that's trying to lob shots in there, and the Hellborn are doing fantastic damage against heavily armored opponents this patch, but that's just so much HP that they have to chunk through that it's not going to be all that effective. Theory's going to have to go back home, lick his wounds, rebuild an army, and come back to deal with the Archangel oppression that he's dealing with. It's hard out here. All right, we can see 2 Wraith Stones being built. All right, which is going to severely slow down his opponent from getting to his stuff here. How many Fiends is that? I can't see. Okay, looks like it was 3 Fiends. And Spriggans and extra Fiends are here to say, like, okay, you just lose the Morph Core. That's it. But I'm missing a huge fight. More Archangels trying to punch a dragon. The dragon leaves and comes back, and it's going to start doing fantastic damage against all these grounded Archangels. every single Hellborn falls. Doesn't manage to kill a single Archangel. This dragon needs to get in range of that Super Stone if he wants to live. One more. There we go. So finally the Archangels have been taken care of. The dragon's trying to recover as much of his white health as he can before he gets over to his opponent's base, but the Fiends are here. High GG's out. Theory, he's done it. Theory managed to beat the Archangel oppression and goes on to the semis. GG's, High in Theory. Thank you for the fantastic games, guys.